our group will be present about development of financial institution, development of Islamic financial market, and regulation in Islamic financial system in Brunei Darussalam. Economy in Brunei is almost totally dependent on the exploitation of its vast reserve of petroleum and natural gas. Although oil and gas revenues have allowed the state to give its citizens one of the highest per capita incomes in Asia, they also have made the country dependent on a single commodity that is subject to market fluctuations. In addition, Brunei must rely on imports for nearly all its manufactured goods and most of its food. In an effort to ensure the country's economic stability, the government has since the late 20th century striven to diversify the economy by developing other sectors too.
This milestone is obtained from BDIF website, or known as Brunei Darussalam Islamic Financial. In 1991, TAIB, or known as Tabung Amanah Islam Brunei, was established. Then in 1993, there were two establishments of takaful companies. Firstly is TAIB Sendirian Berhad. It was the first takaful companies in Brunei and was incorporated on 3rd January 1993. Second, in May 1993, there was establishment of IBB Takaful Sendirian Berhad. In January 1994, Security Sendirian Berhad was established. 1997, establishment of IBB Credit Berhad, and in the same year, there are also establishment of Arahnu Department under IBB. In 1999, Government of Brunei Darussalam has issued the Islamic Banking Act Chapter 168. An act is to provide for the licensing and regulation of Islamic banking business in Brunei Darussalam. 2001, there is conversion of development of Brunei to Islamic Development Bank of Brunei, and there are also establishment of Takaful IDBB and also introduction of International Insurance Takaful Order 2001 or Securities Order 2001 and Mutual Fund Order 2001. In 2002, there is introduction of International Banking Order, and in the same year, there are also introduction of Pawn Brokers Order. In 2003, TAIB began offering SMS banking services, while in 2005, IDBB launched Corporated Sukuk Al-Ijara. In order to have a strong Islamic banking which can support the economy of Brunei Darussalam, IBB and IDBB was merged in 2005. In 2006, there is introduction of Sharia Supervisory Board Order and also launching of short-term Brunei Government Sukuk Al-Ijara. While in 2007, there is launching of CIMB Islamic Imtiaz Fund that were offered to investors in Brunei and also in overseas. In 2008, there is introduction of Islamic Banking Order and Takaful Order. In 2009, launching BIDB Al-Kauthar Funds. Objective is to achieve long-term capital appreciation. In 2010, there is establishment of Center for Islamic Banking, Finance and Management, and also launching of SBI Islamic Fund in Brunei Darussalam. While in 2011, BIBD began offering online banking services, and also there is licensing of Takaful Brunei TBA and Takaful Brunei Keluarga TBK. 2013, there is licensing of Insurance Islam Taib General Takaful and Insurance Islam Taib Family Takaful, and in the same year, there are also introduction of Security Market Order, introduction of Government Sukuk Al-Ijara of 6 and 9 months of tenure, and also hosted Brunei Darussalam Islamic Investment Summit. In 2014, BIDV received credit rating from SP Global Ratings, and 2015, there is commencement of Stock Exchange Establishment Project, and BIDB opened representative office in Singapore. In 2016, BIDB opened an office in Brunei International Financial Center. There are also introduction of BIDB SME 360 and launching of Financial Sector Blueprint with Pillar 2. 17, launching of Islamic Finance Showcase and Brunei Darussalam Islamic Finance website and mobile application. CIMBFM hosted Bill 2017, and Brunei Darussalam ranked 9th position from 4th position in 2015. In 2018, Brunei Darussalam maintained 9th position in CD Refinity Islamic Finance Development Indicator Report 2018. And also issuance of notice and guideline of Sharia government framework. In the same year, there are also issuance of notice and guidelines on international Sharia audit framework for financial institution and banks offering Islamic financial product and service in Brunei Darussalam. Issuance of guidelines on the Islamic product approval process under Section 14 of SFSB Order 2016. And there are also first infrastructure project in Brunei Darussalam to utilize Sukuk. Authority Monetary Brunei Darussalam AMBD introduced the Sharia compliant overnight standing facilities. And 2019, CIBFM awarded with Global Islamic Finance Awards and Excellent Awards at 9th GIFA Award Ceremony. There are also introduction of mobile app in Takaful market. Brunei Darussalam ranked 10th position in ICD Revenue Islamic Finance Development Indicator Report 2019. In 2020, AMDB introduced the AMDB Islamic Builds program, and in 2021, there is launching of the Standard Chartered Security B9 Berhad Islamic Window. There is rebranding of CIBFM to Brunei Institute of Leadership and Islamic Finance, and BILIF hosted BICM 2021.
So, the Islamic Financial Institutions of Brunei consists of 4: Takaful Company of Brunei Darussalam, Insurance Islam Taib, and 2 major institutions, which are BIBD from banking and Taib from non-banking. So, we will focus on these 2 major institutions. Firstly, BIBD, that stands for Bank Islam Brunei Darussalam. Previously, in 1993, the Islamic Bank of Brunei has established as the conversions from the conventional, while in 2001, the conversion of Development Bank of Brunei into Islamic Development Bank of Brunei. And then, these 2 banks merged in 2005, formed the largest bank and the biggest Islamic financial institutions of Brunei, which is BIBD. BIBD also is the only banking institutions that serve all segments of retail banking market, such as financing for personal, corporate, life and non-life insurance, SMS banking, and also operates the largest ATM network. Based on its annual reports of 2019, its asset has increased up to 90% of the total Islamic finance market share of assets. And in order to ensure BIBD in line with Sharia principle, the Sharia governance and compliance system of BIBD works in 2 dimensions, which are Sharia Advisory Body of BIBD and Authority Monetary Brunei Darussalam. Second, Brunei Islamic Trust Fund or Perbadanan Tabung Amanah Islam Brunei Taib, that established in 1991, which had marked a new beginning for Islamic finance and banking in Brunei. It acted mainly as the saving institutions for pilgrimage, and up to 2020, it holds a position as the second largest Islamic financial institutions after BIBD. Taib also operates 2 other subsidiaries, as mentioned previously, which are Takaful Company of Brunei Darussalam and Insurance Islam Taib. Even though there are conventional banks in this country, but due to the Sultanate strategic plan to make Islamic system as a hub for adequate investment, it actually had driven Islamic financial institutions positively. As a result, the previous 2 major institutions had a total asset value over 40% of the country's total banking asset in 2013, which was an increment from 2010, estimated 37%. So some economists say that it is not worthy to compare between conventional and Islamic in this country, because obviously Islamic system has grown at a fast pace in tune.
Focus of financial sector development for this decade is the strategy of Brunei Darussalam as an international Islamic financial hub. Brunei Darussalam has affirmed the growing prominence of a more diverse foreign presence and the highest level of foreign participation.
Present for the state of Islamic financial market on Brunei, continuous program of sukuk issuance maintained by the government since 2006. Only 2 instances of initial public offering of share and corporate sukuk in the last 2 decades. Minimal secondary market trading within Brunei of capital market securities and trades happen mostly on over-the-counter basis. Offering of mainly foreign Islamic fund and only 1 domestic Islamic fund to retail investor. Future for the state of Islamic financial market on Brunei, development of Sharia compliant capital market and Sharia compliant market index, development of active money market for banks. Next, encourage local corporates and institutions to issue sukuks, encourage participation of retail investors in capital market, create a favorable environment to raise capital by issuing IPO, AMPD to encourage the development of Islamic fund including REIT.
Development of Islamic financial market in Brunei due to the strong Islamic banking sector in Brunei growing in Islamic insurance, and expand in market for Islamic bond, Brunei had internationally catch more attention as a center for Islamic financial services. Recently, Brunei Darussalam been placed among the 9 countries worldwide which Islamic finance reached systematic importance. Based on Global Islamic Finance Report, Brunei will be the one of 6 countries that practice Islamic banking and finance in more than half of their financial sector. Brunei became the first sovereign in the world to bypass conventional capital market in developing an Islamic capital market. Brunei has stepped up their commitment in market reform in this recent year. In Brunei, Islamic banking market was established through Tabung Amanah Islam Brunei in 1991. It is the first Islamic trust fund that been created to help Muslims in Brunei to perform Hajj. Capital market. In 2006, first sukuk were introduced by Ministry of Finance. Sukuk are the most important and prominent element in Islamic capital market. 90% of capital market is contributed from sukuk. Brunei has initiated its capital market with the issuing of short-term sukuk al-ijarah. This is the ijarah-based Islamic monetary market implemented in the world. Sukuk al-ijarah is generally an alternative to conventional bonds. Sukuk al-ijarah is an Islamic bond as the issuance is backed by the buying, selling and leasing of properties. The structure is endorsed by the appropriate Sharia experts as fully compliant to all requirements of Hukum Syara. The main distinction between Sukuk al-ijarah and conventional bond is the Sukuk al-ijarah does not involve the payment of a fixed interest rate. The buying and selling of sukuk is based on the buying, selling and leasing of properties. As a consequence, the structure of sukuk does not have any element of riba which is prohibited in Islam. As in conventional bond, sukuk is usually issued or sold by the government or corporation with a view to raise capital to finance new project or business expansion. The issuance of short-term sukuk al-ijarah is an initial step to development of capital market in Brunei Darussalam. Their success will definitely be in the long run and will depend on the full support of financial institutions and major corporations in the country. In 2010, Brunei investment agencies started to invest in Forge Capital, which Dubai-based investment income company and other leading institutions include Malaysia Sovereign Fund, Khazanah Nasional Berhad. The fund will be invested in developing Islamic financial industry for main Muslim market, include Brunei Darussalam. Capital market in Brunei governed by the Security Markets Order 2013 and also Security Market Regulation 2015, both of it administered by Authority Monetary Brunei Darussalam. The Security Market Order and the Security Market Regulation provide a legal and regulatory framework for the licensing and supervision of market operators such as security exchanges, clearing houses, trading facility, credit rating agency, capital market such as dealer, fund manager and investment advisor. In 2018, Brunei Darussalam been placed in the top 10 best performing of Islamic financial market among 131 countries as stated in the Thomson Reuters Islamic Finance Development 2018.
I will be talking about the main statutory body in Brunei. In 2010, the foundation for the establishment of a strong regulator for Bruneian Islamic finance industry was created. The Authority Monetary Brunei Darussalam Order 2010 was passed. The activities of Islamic banking and takaful are regulated by the Central Bank of Brunei by the virtue of the Authority Monetary Brunei Darussalam 2010. AMBD is a statutory body acting as the Central Bank of Brunei Darussalam, which undertakes several core functions, chief of which is the formulation and implementation of monetary policies, the regulation and supervision of financial institutions, as well as currency management. 4 divisions previously under the Ministry of Finance were merged to form AMBD, namely the Financial Institution Divisions, the Brunei Currency and Monetary Board, the Brunei International Financial Center, and part of the Research and International Division. AMBD is expected to maintain an attentive eye of the banking and insurance industry, both in Islamic and conventional segments. The Unified Monetary Authority should be able to reduce redundancy and bureaucracy while increasing efficiency through synergy. Furthermore, there are other legal frameworks involved in Islamic finance at Brunei. I will briefly explain 3 of them. First, the Deposit Protection Order 2010 was issued for the protection of ordinary depositors who deposit money in banks, including Islamic banks, against default. The Ministry of Finance said that the order is to provide for the introduction and administration of Deposit Protection Scheme, the establishment of the Brunei Darussalam Deposit Protection Corporation, its functions, and for matters connected therewith. Basically, to prevent financial risk and to enhance the confidence of the depositors, the government, under the Deposit Protection Order 2010, requires banks to set aside funds as reserves. Second, the Accounting Standards Order 2010 was issued to set and regulate accounting standards in Brunei. Lastly, in 2013, the Securities Market Order 2013 was issued. This order is a meaningful step towards promoting Brunei Darussalam as a regional financial center and Islamic financial center. Briefly, the order manages and controls financial services and financial products, including derivatives and other structured financial products, to its ability to regulate two principal areas, namely the first one, regulated activities, and the second one is public offerings of securities in Brunei Darussalam. Under these two subheads, activities relating to investment, businesses, and dealing in securities will come within the scope of the order, although there are certain exemptions afforded where the public is not involved.
The first Islamic banking legislation of Brunei Darussalam to regulate the Islamic banking industry is the Islamic Banking Act of Chapter 168 enacted on December 2, 1992. This provided the legislative vehicle for the institution of Islamic banking. It consists 7 parts that covers the core parts covering ensuring on licensing, financial requirements, ownership, restrictions on business, supervision, and control of Islamic banks. The Ministry of Finance in 2008 introduced the Islamic Banking Order 2008, intended at expanding the Islamic banking sector in Brunei, increasing the competitiveness among players by creating a level playing field as well as strengthening the supervision and regulation of Islamic banking activities. It also aimed to attract foreign participants to strengthen the industry as a whole and to nurture local knowledge and expertise. Islamic Banking Order 2008 is more detailed in its text, comprising of 11 parts. The main core of the text covers similar grounds, but it's all-inclusive and up-to-date with the ever-changing banking environment. The 2008 order also redefined Islamic banking business as a business whose aim and operations are not contrary to Hukum Syarak. This meaning, the laws of Islamic according to the 4 major schools of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. It is interesting to note that in the matter of definition, licensed offshore companies is also now allowed to carry on Islamic banking business. This will accelerate the development of the industry. In the same year, Takaful Order 2008 was introduced. The order is a new comprehensive legislation to govern the activities of the domestic Takaful industry and provide the legal platform for a level playing field between conventional insurers and Takaful operators. The Takaful Order of 2008 has made some changes where there are different requirements for Takaful operators to carry out family Takaful and general Takaful. As a result, the local Takaful companies need to re-strategize their business models since given the small local market size and increasing operational costs, the profit margins will reduce considerably. Briefly, the Bruneian Islamic banking and Takaful are governed by the Islamic Banking Order 2008 and Takaful Order of 2008 respectively. In addition, there is also the Statutory Tabung Amanah Islamic Brunei (TAIB) Act to regulate the Islamic finance sector. Other governing acts include the Finance Companies Act and the Deposit Protection Order.
As a conclusion, the development of Islamic financial system in Brunei keeps showing positive growth over the time. From its economic view, Islamic financial system is more outstanding compared to conventional, such as in financial institution, the main drivers are BIBD and TAIB. Both are Islamic version, While in Islamic financial market, it attracts a lot of investors because the products promote fairness and brotherhood concept. It is also undeniable that the regulations imposed play important role to enhance the investors and public trust over the time. That is why Brunei also known as one of the hubs for Islamic business in the world. That's all from us. Thank you.